Okay, today we're going to make a delicious meal for Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day, the Sunday. So we're going to start off with a homemade Turkish bread. So this is yeast. There's yeast, water, tiny bit of sugar. You can buy it in stores, really, really cheap. And this is the basis for all breads. It's an active live bacteria. Now, that doesn't sound very appetizing, but what it does is it eats the sugars and the flour inside, and it kind of lets out bubbles, which gives the dough its structure. Now, to that, I'm gonna add some flour. Start off with about half the amount of flour you want to put in, and before you mix it, add a nice dash of good extra virgin olive oil. It's nice flavor, as well as a nice softness to the dough. And I'm gonna add some salt. About a teaspoon of salt for that. Now, bread, you really do need to put a bit of salt in, otherwise it just tastes bland. Now, this is a really good thing to do when you're a little bit stressed, because I'll show you why. Once we get this dough together, you need to knead it. Kneading takes a bit of time, but it's worth it, because the more you knead it, the softer your dough gets, so don't skimp out on that process. You'll feel when this gets right. You can just tell, because the dough becomes from sticky and gooey to just soft enough to use your hands, and we are so close to that stage right now. See how that's just come together? That's looking good. Flour your hands, put some on your work bench, and then take that dough out, okay? And right now it just kind of crumbles together. It's because there's no gluten holding the bread together. However, the more you knead it, the more that gluten develops, and the better your dough becomes. It's like when you're making a cupcake, you don't mix it too much because you develop gluten. We are doing exactly what not to do with a cupcake. Cupcake, you want soft. This, you want nice and chewy with a bit of body to it. So do that for about 5–10 minutes, and your dough should look something like, I'm gonna try and get most of this flour off my hands before I show you my dough, which I made yesterday, and I've just let that sit and prove, and you can see how soft that is. Adam, come in here. You've been looking at this curiously from the side.
Yeah, man, it looks like Play-Doh.
It's nice, eh?
It's so good.
Yeah, that is pretty much the dough, and I'm gonna give you this, actually, and I'm gonna ask you to flatten it out for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make one as well.
Do I need some flour, like what they do at the Olympics?
It's not resin, but you can do that. And I'm gonna add that to a floured baking tray. Here we go. You don't need to worry too much about it. Just chuck that on.
Yeah.
It's rustic, right?
Rustic.
A little bit of extra virgin olive oil on top to use as glue. And I've asked you because I know Eve's gluten-free.
She can't eat anything.
Yeah, she might not be able to. Just sprinkle some of this. Use your fingers. Do it from afar, like that. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, I'm not asking you back in the kitchen anytime soon. Put this in the oven, 180 degrees, for about 20 to 30 minutes. Thanks, Mum.
Maybe use an oven glove. And
let that bake. Recipe for that is online at facebook.com/Mike Spice. Now, coming up, I'll be showing you guys how to make Turkish eggs, which is going to go perfectly with our Turkish bread for Mother's Day. Okay, I'm going to show you guys really quickly the bread we put in the oven earlier before we get on with our Turkish eggs. So that's risen up, it's crusting up nicely. We just want to brown that now, get a nice bit of coloration on it. So carry on cooking, hurry up, you don't have much time left. Okay, Turkish eggs. Some people call it Baghdad eggs. I don't really know what the difference is, but essentially it's a tomato saucy, soupy base. Then into that you poach eggs in it, and it's absolutely delicious. So perfect for Mother's Day. Let me show you guys how to make it. A warm pan, bit of extra virgin olive oil of choice in that area of the world, and some onions and capsicums. Now I'm going to drop that heat because we want that to just gently sweat. And just cover that with oil and let that go gently. Be patient with it. Don't boost it up. Don't brown the onions too much. Otherwise, it gets that kind of caramelly, that charred flavour, which normally is delicious, and this I kind of want to avoid, actually. So that takes about 3–4 minutes if you're patient. But right now we don't have that time, so to that I'm going to add some smoked paprika, allspice and oregano. Now these flavours are all so typical of Turkey, so I'll put all of that in. Smoked paprika, by the way, if you've never tried it, is like dried barbecue. It is so nice. It seriously tastes like barbecue. and that obviously looks a little bit dry. So, in with 1 can of tomatoes. You can see I'm just using a home brand. I actually find these taste pretty much exactly the same, especially once cooked, as expensive $2–3 a can number. So don't splash out too much. About half a cup of chicken stock or vegetable stock works fine. And now all you want to do is let that simmer down. Right now it's too wet, but after about 10–15 minutes, it looks something like this. See how that's just concentrated down and it's that beautiful thick sauce. It just looks like flavour. I'm going to take that off the heat, and to this add our eggs. Now to crack the eggs, it just takes practice. Nothing really to it. Get a nice sharp surface, confident, crack, and then straight in. Boom. Now you repeat that with a few more eggs, depends on how hungry your mum is feeling or whether you're cooking for the rest of the family as well. I'm going to do 3 because there's 3 of us in the studio today. And I'm going to cover that and put that back on a nice gentle heat to cook through the eggs. We want that nice runny yolk in there. So I'm going to finish that along with our Turkish bread recipe online for both of those. Just in time, these Turkish eggs are perfect, if I may say so myself. Look how the egg yolks are just soft. You know that's going to run. Okay, let's plate that up. I'm going to keep it in here. By the time I serve these individually on plates, the egg's going to overcook and it's going to break and it's just not going to be that nice. And here are some of those beautiful slice of Turkish bread that we made earlier. I'm going to sprinkle this with a sesame and cumin seed topping and a nice bit of flat leaf parsley, which I'm just going to tear up over. Extra virgin olive oil. Now, it's not just to cook with, it's actually flavour as well. And it is an oil, but it's a really good type of oil for you. So don't be too nervous about eating it, guys.
That is amazing. Now, if you do nothing for your mother this Mother's Day, you cannot blame us. We've got heaps of recipes online, we've got crafts, we've got all sorts of ideas, and you've still got a couple of days to get yourself organised, so make sure you do that.
Please, hurry up and subscribe.
Click the subscribe button.
Do it.
Ava, you've been pushing.
No.
Why is it so big?
Oh, keep pushing. Just click subscribe, otherwise we're going to be here the whole time.
Oh, listen.